Morning. Hope you're well. I'm back on a little walk with Molly. Here she is. I've got her on a bit of a lead today, and I thought I'd come. Where are we? I thought I'd come this way today, which is I suppose it's one of my favourite walks, really. Oh, Molly wants to go this way. Oh, I'm going to go this way and get messy then. Oh, hang on. Oh. There's a little hedge that you go through. There she is. Oh, hang on a minute. Sorry. Go on then, Molly, off you go. Oh, she's away. There we go, look. She's gone off there. I'm here. Molly, this had an electric fence. I was a bit worried that wouldn't be able to got it. Maybe the next one's got an electric fence. Anyway, it's a nice walk. So we're still in the Nativity story. Now I've sort of done the basic framework and the story, and still going in myself a little bit slower through the Nativity story, because come Christmas everything's fast, and I found actually this year, just by going slower through the Bible, or slower understanding things, that helps me to understand things better. I don't think I can grasp things as quickly. But one of the things I thought I'd look at is there's a couple called Zacharaih and Elizabeth. So they're before Jesus is born, but sort of at the same time. So they're an older couple that have no children. Zacharaih works sort of performs his duty as a religious chap, which they did, as the Jews do. And he gets picked by lot, which I am assuming is like sticks, and you get to choose which one. And then it falls upon him to do the priestly duties, and he has to go into a sort of tenty area where it's frightening, because he could die, and they used to tie string or rope to him in case he died and God touched him and he died, and then drag him out. But he went in as normal. It was his job to do. And then an angel came to him, and he was scared. And I'm guessing if God came to us in any way, we'd be scared. And the angel said that Zacharaih, your Elizabeth, will have a baby in her old age. Now, he doesn't believe the angel and says something to the fact, well, how can we have a baby in our old age? And then the angel says, well, you won't be able to speak until the baby's been born, and you've got to give him the name John. There's lots in that story you could look at. And one of the things I like about the Bible, you read it, that's the surface level. But then you can get deeper and deeper. Molly, stay! Stay! Well, I'm just going to control. Molly, stay! Anyway, so you can get deeper and deeper. But what I really want to point out, one thing within that story, which you could take as insignificant, because I've told you the story, and in some ways it's not the Molly, stay, not the point of the story. The bit I want to, what appealed to me was, hang on, I'll put Molly on a lead. What appealed to me is that Zacharaih was chosen by lot to do a job. And I think that's what we face. Either we can do a job or we can't do a job. And some people are chosen because they're clever and intelligent. Some people are not chosen. And we always go back to that thing that happened in school, where people choose who they want on their team and various people are last. So there's the whole, how do we cope with not being chosen? How do we cope with being chosen and having to cope with that responsibility of coping with something? But one of the main things, I suppose, why I have a faith that helps me is that the whole of the principle of being chosen, that the world, oh look, this is fun, I'm waffling on, but I've got to show you this. We have sheep in that there field. They're obviously doing a good job nibbling away at that. That's why, that makes me laugh, that's why this one had electric fence. Anyway, little things please me. So the whole principle of life is you earn a lot, you gain a lot of intelligence, you have power, and that is the sort of driving force. You know, you're chosen because you're clever or intelligent or pretty or handsome, or there's something about you. And that's what it's not as direct as that, but I think you get what I mean. We don't all have the gifts, and you can think of the poorly people who are in a bad way. When I went to school, Kingsley School, handicapped school, I had a young man called Jasper, and he was crippled with one side of his leg and his hands and twisted in his body, and he had a soft head, so he used to wear this big protective headgear. And this poor lad, it was really a nice guy actually. He's quite brighter than me, but they wrapped him in cotton gloves, if you know what I mean, that saying. And I remember going to school one day, and it was the time or the fashion to have roller skates or roller boots, and for whatever reason, I used to love roller skating. I was no good at roller blading, but roller boots. So I took them in roller boots to school, got Jasper, put the roller boots on Jasper, and then pushed him round the disabled school because it was all great for rollerblading, and while the teachers were chasing after us both. Anyway, I went to the head, but I did feel at the time that too many people wrap him up in cotton wool and because he can't do a thing. And I think what appeals to me with faith is you're not chosen. You're just accepted for who you are, warts and all. You're liked because God likes you. He understands our faults, our worries, just like Zacchaeus was like unbelieving. Now he suffered for it. We all suffer for things we go wrong, but he was still chosen and he was still loved by God. And I'm in this field and I feel loved by God. But sometimes I'm my own worst enemy. My thoughts run wild, and I wish I could read better, and I wish I could this, and I wish I could that. But that's partly why I have a faith, really, is because he does care. Someone cares, and that leads to other people caring, and that leads to using whatever skill set. Now, I don't mind doing this, to be honest, because I think it appeals to my skill set. I can just talk and wing things, really, which is just me. Other people can't. It wouldn't appeal to Sally because it's just not her. I am shy, but I'm not that shy. And if I make a mistake, I make a mistake. So my purpose is, well, I can do this. And maybe it'll encourage others and also encourage me. So I suppose I'll end with the statement that you are not chosen. You're just liked. You're just loved. Warts and all. And bad mood, good mood. You're just liked. And God uses you in all sorts of ways. So that's the story I get out of the Zacchaeus and Elizabeth story, and there's lots within that, and I could go back to it again and point something else out. But I want to tell you today, enjoy your day. I like you, God likes you, And the people who love you near you, they do too. What skills you've got, thank you. Thank you that you use them and the effort you put in. God bless. Take care. Now I have to try and turn this off. Bye. Here we go.